Good morning. We've checked into Port Lavaca, Texas last night. Yesterday was fun. Fun on the dolphin tour. And we're missing our Navion, especially when we're parked across the street from something like this. Looks like a almost like a city park with an RV campground. Walking the donkeys while it's still relatively cool. But man, the mosquitoes were lighting up on me. Still are. Ugh. Hate that. What a thing to wake up to. And there's a little beach here. I'm not sure if anybody can use it. It's called Lighthouse Beach. A Lighthouse Beach playground. And over here is like a bird sanctuary park. And this little trail boardwalk you can walk around. So that's what we're gonna do. Right, dongies? Nice. And you know, the past few days we've been doing exactly what we don't like to do. Crowded into places, long lines, and competing with everyone. And I mean, you had an hour-long wait to get into McDonald's at South Padre Island, and that's, I guess, maybe a peak vacation season, who knows. But this is so much better. Come on. This is where we are for future reference. Something I have to look up. No dogs are allowed on the beach. Woo-hoo-hoo. But everywhere else is fine. And they're having some sort of electrical or maintenance issues. So they're not, it says, there's a sign there that says they're not taking new RV reservations. So I don't know if that's temporary or what, but plenty of people out here. And then there's this lighthouse here, which I think everything is named after. Constructed in 1858, this 3-story. It was out in the bay. They moved to here. Half Moon Reef Lighthouse. Built 1858, retired 1942. I think it was interesting that the Confederates turned it off to keep Union ships from spotting their blockade runners. And I imagine to get there you had to go by boat. Be the right type of posting for somebody of the right mindset, I guess. You get a wider view of the site. Went back to the room, got the kiddos. The missus is gonna walk that nature trail I just took, and kiddos are gonna enjoy the little beach here. Walking this again, but this time bringing the fam with the dongies again, and the view. There's the beach and the grass area, bird nature sanctuary. It's a nice city-owned park. There's even a water park, a little one. It's not working right now. Oh, something's in my back is itching. And you know, there's boat ramps and you know, everything here. There's right over there is the looks like a shower house. There's a community activity center, and of course the RVs. Right now they say they're not taking any new reservations because of an electrical problem, maintenance issues. And there's more RVs over there. I haven't seen where the tent sites are yet. They're probably right there. I don't blame people for not wanting to partake in the tent sites. It's very hot. There's no breeze. And yeah, there's a place you can wash yourself off there. You know, the beach, of course, which we just went to. Anyway, the missus told me to get the car to pick her up. So I don't know where they went. They're in the pavilion. Alrighty. We've made it to Galveston Island. This has to be the most convenient beach we've been to. There's a car right behind us. I hope we're out of the high tide area. We're not staying long enough to worry about that. I don't think we'll get stuck. It's pretty hard packed around here. What do you think, dongies? You like to dip in the ocean? Playing catch with the dog. Or should I say the dog fin? Or maybe it's a dog shark. Dogfish. Come here, Jimmy. Bring it. All right. Sit. Drop. Drop it. There you go. Sit. Sit. All right. I'm getting the ball. All right. Come on, Jim. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. Sit. Hey, don't drag her out there. Sit. She's fine where she is. Are you going to help him, Zach?
Yeah.
Saya, take your hands off him. That doesn't help. Heck of a job, Brownie. I'm in a deadly conundrum here. I'm trying to take video, but everything I take of her, she goes, you made me look fat. I'm like, fine.
No. Waterproof? No.
No, not really. You go into the fishing pier here in Galveston. Wow, look at all the fish down there. Looks like a lot of needlefish. got these bright lights on. It's almost cheating. Wow, look at the sea at night. Oh, there's the moon. Gorgeous. Looking up the coast. I don't know how well I can be heard with the wind. Looking towards Galveston. You're alright, sorry. So the cost is $12 to fish all day, but $2 to go up on the observation deck. But doggies aren't allowed, so we couldn't go in. Wah, wah. We had fun watching the fishes in the lights from the end there.
He already took our order.
We're eating him. What's the name of this place? The Gumbo Diner. Looking out over the what do you call that? The seawall.
Do it, Luke.
Doesn't know how.
Look at me, Luke. Look at me, Luke.
We're all getting tired. Chicken and waffle. Gargantuan panics. And the Happy Days breakfast. Zach has 2 quick eggs, which he's trying to be very quick in devouring. Here is where we ate, which is right here. We are satisfied. All the cars going on the ferry. That's where we're going. Alright, I have to pay attention. At least this boat is not a rockin'. Riding on the ferry. First time ever on one of these? Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Is that a shipwreck over there? There's submarines over here. Look at all those cars. Wow. There's the ferry board. This journey didn't take long at all, and they haven't charged us, so I think this is on the taxpayers. Imagine that in Texas. But I'm not complaining. And there's Galveston, which we're leaving. Pretty cool. I gotta have at least one boat ride. So it was a short one, but it's fun. I think the kids really loved their first ferry experience. Oops. How do I do this? I've never set my brake before. Whee! Take it sleazy. No big rush. Don't want to see, we're loading off and other people are loading on. This is far different than a Philippine ferry, right? We're still in Texas heading for Louisiana, but this coastal road we took, whew, man, It is just right there. And the surf is tremendous. I mean, we just passed some very beautiful beaches in a place called Bolivar. This is turning out to be a very nice drive. While they walk and take pictures, I'm gonna plan the next leg of our route, trying to get us as close as we can to the coast and see some parts of Louisiana we've never seen before. I parked back a little. I didn't want to get the car splashed. And it's funny, that road up there is so close that we literally were hit by a wave. Well, the spray, but it hit the door. We heard it go thunk, and I was like, ah, that's pretty close to the water. We have made it to our second ferry crossing, which is at a place called Cameron, Louisiana. It's a much smaller ferry. Gives us a chance to get out and stretch our legs a bit. There it is. I'm gonna go look at this gator over here. The gator over there is advertising the Creole Nature Trail. All right, short visit, stretch your legs. Time to walk back. The ferry's coming back this way. Don't want to be blocking traffic. Woo-hoo, get on our way. Pump. Pump.
The dolphins over there. Chim chim.
We were looking at dolphins over there, but I think we scared them off with the ferry. There we are, the Acadia. Going to the other side here at Cameron, Louisiana. Passing through an area that was devastated by a hurricane. But Cameron, Louisiana, seeing all sorts of damage that hasn't been fixed yet. The whole place was wiped out. Coming back very slowly. Actually, we're now in Grand Chenier. I probably mispronounced that. There's a house there that's still damaged. Seen lots of cemeteries here too that the storm surge was so strong it pulled the crypts right out of the ground. And they're kind of like sitting at weird angles. We've seen churches that are still destroyed, schools. I mean, that was my first hint. Forgot all about the hurricane. Then I saw some dead trees and I said, that's weird, wonder what killed them. And then we passed by a church. Like, oh wow, that church is gone. And then another church, and I'm like, oh. So yeah, the damage down here was pretty bad. Still is pretty bad. Here's an area where looks like the road they tried to wash out the road.
still a lot of debris on the sides of the roads. There's a damaged house there. I don't know, the worst parts were back further around Cameron. This area took the brunt of it, really. The Category 5 hurricane wiped out this area. We're not that far from the ocean, so you can see where the surge came up, took out the ground floor a lot of places, even came up and took out a lot of these houses that are on stilts. Oh, anyway, did not expect that. Not that we're being tourists at other people's suffering. It's obvious the people here still need assistance and attention. You know, there's like travel trailers on concrete pads. Where obviously there was a house at one time. Now they're living in a travel trailer. You can see this area's been wiped out and sort of rebuilt, kind of an RV camp. Let's see what this church looks like. Yep, there's a destroyed church. Pretty scary. I like storm chasing, but I don't know if I could ever be prepared enough to chase a hurricane. They're scary and dangerous. They could devastate areas, wide areas, and you can go a long ways before you could even find a gas station, which we need to do pretty soon. So here we are, moving on to the next place in Louisiana. Guess what we're doing today?
Traveling through the Berwick Lock, which is a part of the levee system around the Atchafalaya Basin that encloses almost 1 million acres of wilderness. Now they call it the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area. And so these locks were built about 1930. They are 40 feet deep, they're 45 feet wide, and 300 feet long. So when the snow melts in the northern United States, then they can divert a lot of that water coming down the Mississippi River, down the Atchafalaya River. And the levee system is what keeps all of the homes and towns from flooding, so that they can direct the water as quickly as possible down the shortest route into the Gulf of Mexico. So these are the Berwick Lock that we're in. We'll be closing up the gates behind us right now. Once those are closed, then he'll open the gates in front of us, and a 6-foot wall of water will be coming at you there, Zach.
Zach, be careful, right?
temp.
I grabbed the horn.
All right. Come on, Captain Zach.
That's how deep it is. What's the water temperature is below that? Does it have another little number that says water temp? Keep it in the water.
All right, it is Captain Luke's turn. Don't honk the horn, you'll disturb the wildlife.
Are you?
I like to do that.
That's okay. Here.
You see that? You want to keep it in that line
Now we're
there.
going in a circle.
Luke,
We
let's
want to
turn
go
it.
that way. What are we going to do if we want to go that way?
There you go. Heck of a job, Brownie.
Yeah.
I heard of
And now we're back to Captain Zach, who's really steering this boat.
I heard a story about.
Picture.
Are you doing a good job, Saya?
Yeah, I think so. She's keeping it right in the water.
And now we got, what is it, Skipper Saya?
Skipper Keys.
Yes, Skipper Keys Saya. She's really serious too. Look at that face.
No. It's important. You can't be hitting that tree up there.
Oh my.
Don't go that way.
She
towards
is
the
really,
tree.
oh, yep.
Keep it out there in the middle.
Saya!
So this was a lot of fun. I would do it again. I really love this part of Louisiana, and who knows, maybe move here someday. It's so much better than a lot of places I've been. Love this country. And Captain Caviar, I got to give compliments to, because he really did a good job.
After 31 years of being a caviar producer, I went and got my captain's license, and now I entertain tourists showing off my backyard here. So having been a caviar producer for 31 years and then going to get my captain's license, it's now Captain Caviar. Yeah, a lot of history and mystery out there, on land, in the swamps. A lot of things people don't realize, how much history there really is. You just think you're riding by swamps, and suddenly, like, Jean Lafitte, the pirate, was here and burying treasure out here on these islands. Well, yeah, he was. The old Spanish trails right here in my backyard. So when Spain owned all of Louisiana from Florida to Texas, they built a road, and a part of that road is right here in my backyard, right before you get to that Indian mound. Yeah, the plantation, my mother and dad owned a plantation next door. May my dad rest in peace. They bought Idlewild Plantation in 1976. We're the third family to own it. My dad was a doctor, and when they bought that home, he did not believe in a spiritual world. He said that he's seen a lot of dead people right in front of him, and never once did he see anybody rise to the heavens. Never once did anybody condemn to hell, and nobody ever went sideways to purgatory neither. They was just dead. Well, after living in that plantation home all those years, it changed his medical mind. There is a spiritual world out there after all, because some of those spirits were living right there in that house with him. Hey, how you doing? We decided to come to New Orleans after all, the belly of the beast. We're doing everything we can to be careful. But the first upsetting thing already happened.
So how does a room advertised at $75 gets jumped $100 a night? Well, the first thing is, we call them, and a lot of hotels do this when you call them. They say, oh, you can't reserve it or book it through us. You have to go through a website. And then they play around there. So my wife was thinking, no, we can go to the desk and get the same rate. It's fine. So we go to the desk, and we get across town. We're tired and everything. And then we get in, and first thing is, and when she called, she said, we have pets. They didn't say anything about a pet fee. Well, it's a $30 pet fee a night. Okay. And then after I've paid everything, oh, by the way, we don't have our own parking. So you need to pay for parking in this garage that we have contracted. That's $30 a night. So here I go. I'm looking for the parking garage. The parking garage is about, she said, 4 blocks away from the hotel. It's I hope I'm going in the right one. It's about clearance 6'10". Well, that is low clearance. Oh, beware. If you have a truck, we used to have a truck that was over 6 feet tall. And if you have a truck, you won't make it into this garage. I better check to make sure I'm in the right garage. I think I am. But, there's no human beings here. And the era of the beer flu. So, yeah, after they tack on all these little hidden things, which, we may have found out if we were negotiating, if she got on the internet and was able to negotiate, or we might have not found out till we got in and started checking in after having put our thing in and found out, by the way, here's a fee, here's a fee, here's a fee. Oh, your room that you wanted. Oh, and then they do the little bit of the switch on you when you get there. Oh, that room is not available, but we have a room at this cost. Okay, park your vehicle on floors 4 through 7. All right, well, I better do it because somebody's really impatient on my butt. So anyway, live and learn. But it's New Orleans, so we're here, and we got it for 2 nights, and what do you expect? You're gonna pay for a room in New Orleans, really. I mean, it was too good to be true. But had I had known that, our original plan was to book like a Motel 6 or something on the outskirts and then just drive in, But this is convenient. It's right next to everything. So you pay for it. It's vacation. You gotta be philosophical, I guess. Oh, hey again. I actually parked in the wrong garage. And so, to exit. I'm moving before I get booted and towed and ticketed and fined $1 billion and all that other good stuff. So, what happens when you're in a foreign city place I've been to New Orleans quite a few times, but every time I come here, it's a foreign city to me. It doesn't matter how many times you've been here. As I was saying, you get pushed into bad decision mode. And here it is. Here's the right parking garage. And what pushes you into bad decision mode? Being in a faraway place, like looking for the parking garage. The addresses aren't very well marked. And then forgetting to look at things like the picture and everything. But also, just now, the missus was calling me and harassing me about, I need to hurry up and walk the dogs. And people were racing up on my butt in traffic. And so your brain just you can't handle all those inputs. And you get rushed into making a choice. Now, what I did that saved me was I went, something isn't right. I need to make sure this is the right parking garage. So I did everything. I walked around. I looked and then I looked at the picture. I need to go to the front, because what misled me, I couldn't find the address. So what misled me was there was a sign out in front of the other parking garage that said hotel parking. So I thought, this must be it. So then I went and I walked down. I came down the elevator. Actually, I kind of got lost inside that building. I came down the elevator and I looked at the picture. I went, this doesn't look like the parking garage in the picture. Let me go walk down the street a little and check. And sure enough, I found this garage. Looks like the picture, yada yada. But just now, as I was trying to get in here, people racing up on your butt, because everybody always assumes that, they're entitled, and nobody, this is a big tourist city. No tourists will ever show up here and, by God, get the hell out of my way, And I know it happens when I'm in Kansas City. There are places in Kansas City where I can tell people are from out of town. They get confused. They make turns in the wrong way streets, and they don't know what they're doing, because it's just, you just have to take it slow and easy, or take it sleazy, as we say, ha ha ha. And then, try and make the right decision, or right choices. Don't be forced into making bad choices, because, if I wasn't thinking, I'd park my car, I'd walk away. You're not going to find your car when you get back. We may not come back to this car for 2 days. And, so as it is, they may have taken the picture of my car. I mean, they may send me a little bill saying, you owe us money. And, and that's another bad thing about a lot of these places. People who are from out of town oftentimes get taken advantage of really badly, and they know, these are the touristy spots, and oh my God, we are going to really, So I'm gonna find a spot I can park where hopefully at least one of my doors will be safe. So let me look around. New Orleans. Great place to watch boats. Right, Dongs? Right? Here we are at the beginning or the end of the Jefferson Highway. It says the end of the Jefferson Highway. So I guess it starts in Winnipeg. And this is the corner. The last time I came here, I had to look for it. This time I just kind of stumbled on it. Winnipeg to New Orleans. We've been to both places. Anyway, here it is. It is here on the corner of St. Charles and Common. I had to look it up because the street signs don't exist. It's here on the corner of St. Charles and Common in New Orleans. First thing we're doing as a family, riding what used to be the Algiers Ferry. Now it's the Canal Street Ferry. There's our craft. Here is New Orleans from Algiers. Well, here's Mardi Gras world, but where they have the floats may have moved. Walked in one of the warehouses here. I don't know if we're supposed to be here, but they got some things in here. This is obviously where they make the floats. All right, here's the best view from the back of the ferry. And look, it's getting ready to rain over there. That's beautiful. That's where we're heading next, eventually. We're gonna find some shelter when we get across the river. Man, I love New Orleans. Well, not so much New Orleans, but this part of Louisiana. We have been here before. Okay, we've done the family thing and split everything up because these are big portions. That's some muffaletta, fries, and gumbo. And Suyan's got red beans and rice. Sweet tea. Here we are. And the weather has gotten nice with that rain and the cloudiness. But if the sun comes back to dripping. Brings out the boat nerd in me. But of course, because it's New Orleans. Beignets, and cafe au lait, coffee, and a beignet. Oh, sorry about that, Jimmy. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. Oh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh. I don't think Jimmy's been beignet enough. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. Oh, that's terrible. Jimmy. Zach, you know what's in the weather? A New Orleans snowstorm. The dogs have been beigneted. Look up here, Stella.
No, sit. I want to.
Stella! Stella! Have you been beigneted? We are shopping in the Tabasco store. It's a beautiful rainy day in New Orleans. Good time to take in this sight. Just gorgeous. Yep. Just taking it in. Belly of the beast. A brief respite from the road. Dinner for tonight.
Made me more tired.
Guy Fieri Place. The place that Guy Fieri profiled, so they usually are pretty good, and this one was good. Memphis Barbecue. One of the few places in Mississippi, actually, that not on the coast. The other place, I think, that we saw wasn't open anymore, which is a shame. But the food was delicious. We are satisfied. And now we're heading towards home. The epilogue is clean up, clean up, clean up. I don't think we'll ever get sand out of this car. Why does Darth Vader never go to the beach? You know? Do you guys know? Why does Darth Vader never go to the beach? You know? It's like a choir. Because he hates sand. Oh, this is a weird... Can we get out this way? Anyway, tomorrow is the beginning of my work week, and it is hot. 87. Thought it was cooler than that. But when we started working, we wore ourselves out. We were really tired, right? Mm-hmm. Really hot. I got a little lightheaded. That's not good. So we gotta do something about that. Alrighty then. Woohoo! So, do we have fun on our vacation? Yes. You don't sound so convinced, Saya. Alright. Yep. We'll plan our next one, next trip. We'll do a lot better next time, I hope. So, it's good to be home.